You need to place the registration board in the bed of the laser cutter and line up the top left as it's shown here with the top left of the bed. Next up, you need to line up your design, the registration marks printed on the sheet with the registration marks that are on the board behind. You need to make sure this is very accurate. You should then stick it down in each of the 4 corners with masking tape. On the computer, open up your net in 2D Design. You'll need to delete the surface graphics, and you'll do this by selecting them and then very simply on the keyboard pressing the delete key. This will mean that you've just got your net left. What you'll then do is draw a big box around everything to select the whole lot, and then you should do on the keyboard Control and G to group it together. The 4th stage, you need to open up the laser cutting registration board, which you'll find in Technology Graphic Products area. This again will open in 2D Design. What you'll then need to do is remove any nets that are already there. If you select the area in the centre of the page and again press delete on the keyboard, it's ready then for you to put your net across. You'll have to make sure you've still got everything selected. You may need to draw a box around it again. You should then copy that and paste it over into this sheet here. Very important to make sure you've got grid lock on. If you haven't, then it may paste into an unusual position that you can't align. There, it's pasted. I'm just going to make this larger so you can see what's going on. Now, it's really important to line up the registration marks in the centre so that they're aligned with the grid on the board, just as you've done sticking it onto the board with the masking tape. It might take a few attempts to actually move this by picking it up in the middle and positioning it correctly. There we go. Once you've positioned it correctly, you should be able to see that the pink selected registration mark is sitting exactly on the black line behind on all of the registration points, and that's really important so that it cuts out in the right place. You're now ready to start cutting things out, so long as the settings are correct. I'll just show you now how to set up the settings, just in case you need to check that they are correct. So what you'll need to do is go to the print icon at the top and select that. You'll then need to make sure that it's the laser cutter printer that's selected, although it's not a printer, it comes up as a printer, and you click on the Properties tab. On the first section, you'll have different colours and different settings for power and speed. We've got black coloured and red coloured lines that we need the laser cutter to be looking at when it's cutting and scoring, so we need to make sure the settings are correct for that. It should be 20% power and 100% speed for scoring, and 100% power and 80% speed for when it's cutting out. What you'll need to do is change anything that's wrong, and you would do that by typing the correct number into the box, and then you must click setup. If you don't, it won't remember the settings that you've entered. That's now all correct. I'm now going to go to the Jobs tab, and I need to make sure that only Vector is ticked and the red and black in Vector. I don't want anything else ticked there. That's all okay now, so I'm going to say OK, and then I can say OK here. What I need to make sure I do first, however, is pop the lid of the laser cutter down. Although it won't start with the lid up, it's best for safety to make sure that that is down so it's ready. I can now press OK. And let's beep twice to let me know that it's in there. Now you'll need to make sure that the laser is on. You need to make sure that switch is onto the line and that the laser light is on. It'll start making quite a lot of noise, and then you can press the run button, the yellow button there. When it's finished, the laser carriage will move to the top right hand corner and it will beep, and it's then that you know it's safe to lift up the lid and remove your work, and you should get rid of all the rubbish so that the next person can go to a clean board as well.